Well, good evening, everybody. How are you? I thought I would do a quick little stream here and kind of check how things are going on as we get started. That looks really good. That looks really good. Yeah, let's jump in the game. Thought I would sneak over to Lyria maybe and do a little prospecting tonight. We'll see how it goes. I noticed a couple of the stream regulars are around, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Maybe they'll catch up with me. Today has been an interesting day. It rained quite a bit here and then snowed. And so, yeah, that's what's happening weather-wise here in northern Michigan. Yeah, thought we'd take a look at see what we got going on with the Prospector here. Hey, there he is. How you doing this evening, sir? Did you get that computer today? Four has a new computer coming, so we're excited about that. At some point, I know today may have been a day it was gonna happen, but one more time here, just take a look, one extra time, make sure I got everything I need. Yeah, I got the rush drive on board, and boy, that kit that I like to run the FLTRXL and a couple of brands. So, hey, there's a citizen. Hey, citizen. Oh, hey, well, that's good news. Gotta go pick it up. All right. That's awesome. Ooh, and a new monitor. All right. Getting all the bells and whistles. That's awesome. All right, up to pad 2 we go. Had a little bit of time in between making dinner and maybe checking some homework in a little while, and thought I might sneak out to see if we can't find a little something to mine. Now, boy, I did find a nice rock today. It was a 5270 at 49.7%. It was a real winner. That was an easy uni, and put that guy in the hopper today. Out to the Prospector we go. Good old Prospector, looking good. Hey, there he is. How are you, sir? Got Morvip and Brett. Winning combo right there. How's it going, fellas? Alright, we're gonna shoot our way over to Lyria. See if we can't find something to put the lasers on today. Hey. Chart. Looks like I gotta school that guy twice. What?
Thank you. And please visit again.
3 times the charm. Doing good, doing good. Oh, wow. I wonder what I got going on here. Trying to quantum over there. Hey, Etheric Bard, how are you doing tonight? There we go. Heck yeah. Now it's getting towards dark. We did have quite a bit of snow today. Rained a bunch, then snowed. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet. I I thought it would be fun just to kind of sneak over here and see if we can't find something to mine here. Ooh. Forrest saying Forrest picking up his new computer, at some point, if not today, I think soon, and he's got a new computer and a new monitor. It's gonna be awesome. Hey, Etheric, not sure about that. I don't have advertising. I haven't really set specific times yet. I just kind of go, whenever life kind of gives an opportunity. Kind of in between, dodging family things and that type of thing. I sneak on and try and do a little mining. So I'm sure if you click the notification when I actually do schedule them, I bet you'll get the notification then for sure. It's a good question too. I mean, honestly, kind of new to the whole stream thing still. I mean, even though we've done a good, maybe getting to be 15 or 20 of these or whatever, we're still kind of learning as we go. Over to Lyria we head, and hopefully we'll have the same kind of luck I had earlier. I literally came to Lyria, flew down, looked at one rock. First rock I looked at was a 5200 at 49%. Now that's probably not going to happen here, but boy, that was nice to just kind of 15 minutes or so back. I mean, it was a clean break, and half the rock is easy break, and boy, that was an easy one. Oh, that's good enough. Marvup's saying that he did get noticed. That's good. Just want to make sure you click the notification bell. I bet you that may be the easiest way to go about it. We're going to fly into Wheelers here, and I'm going to switch over to, I use HOSAS, usually 2 sticks VKB gladiators. But whenever I start kind of getting into the mining thing, I switch back to mouse and keyboard. So I'll kind of rotate back into that stuff. And off we go. Just kind of looking, testing all the functionality. We'll turn off the quantum drive and just fly in a direction here for a little bit and see if we can't find something to put the lasers on. Came in a little high. So I was able to knock dinner out a little early tonight for the fam. And that was nice, and just kind of looking at the tasks at hand for the coming week, and obviously getting back to work tomorrow is number one. And I'm actually going to try and do a few more streams this week, and hopefully with Ford getting his computer rolling, and maybe we'll have some opportunities to do that. So, all right, so off to the races we go here. See if we can't find something to mine. It's funny we'll say I listened to my last stream, and it's a good thing I don't make a drinking game out of how many times I say and holy smokes. People would be tatered in about 5 minutes. Everywhere I stopped and listened, it was an or a I was thinking to myself, where's Ford to save me from myself? Alright. Pivot on this guy and see what we got. At some point here, we'll kind of put the sun out at our 12 o'clock and kind of keep that in a cone in front of us so we don't end up circling back. Scanning the same stream. There's Archer. Archer's asking for an invitation. I'm not sure I'm going to be out here too long, and we'll just have to see how things go. I think that's good. We'll keep the sun right at the 12 position, and that's exactly right. Oh, my stars in heaven. If I had a nickel for every or, you know, I pull off in these things, you'd probably have 2 fancy new monitors. That's no exaggeration. Cyrus, if it's 250, do yourself a favor. Don't drink every time I say and definitely do not drink every time I say you know. If that were to happen, yeah, it wouldn't go well. It wouldn't go well at all. You know. I mean, obviously, one of the big takeaways is drink responsibly. That's not drinking responsibly at all. Not even close. Derek Bard says it's a habit that is hard to break. Have done public speaking, had to learn to break it. Yeah, Etheric, I hear what you're saying. I have to consciously not, consciously focus not to do that. I certainly can. There's our first doublers there for the night. I can spend large swaths of time, but I do have to be focusing on not doing it. It's an interesting thing, and I don't necessarily like to do that. I do think when there's an extra person around to chit-chat with, it's far less noticeable. But it's just one of those things. I'm probably, obviously we're probably our own worst critics in that capacity. Nobody teases me too much about it, and I, of course, am willing to admit my shortcomings with it. But I can appreciate what you're saying there, Eric, for sure. Craig, how you doing this evening? That's awesome. Yeah, it's everybody else's fault. I'm not taking responsibility for this. You're right, Craig. Oh, that's funny. I definitely have a long way to go with that, for sure. Oh, good territory looking here. I like the hills. We'll see how it goes. I will, Oh, am I geared now? It is. Let's pull that stuff back up. Holy smokes. VTOL, got the gear down. Got the gear up. Holy smokes. Amateur night. Oh, my stars. Alright. Ooh, Craig Blair says he just made his first successful mole run from Lyria. Wow, nicely done. Now, Craig, did you solo that? Or did you happen to, was that something that did you do it with the crew? And Etheric says, nice paint job. Yeah, I like this paint job. Here, I'll show you guys. I do like this paint job. I think it kind of, does look nice on the Prospector. There's a single there. There's really, when it comes to, the mole is so much fun. There's some doublers. The mole is so much fun. It's such a good ship, such a fun craft. If you get a couple of people on board that know what they're doing, you can do just lights out damage as well. I mean, you can go real fast with that thing. All right, so we got some doublers here. Let's take a peek at those. Let's see what we got. Seems like this one's kind of tucked right next to that one. It is, kind of. Yep. Starting to get some scan in on that one. Now, if I mine these, they will go tumbling down the hill, but that's okay. This is a 4402 at 28%. Probably not a bad one to mine. Let me take a look and see what we got here. Ooh, this could be good too. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one too. So 2901 at, let me grab QuantCalc here. Just charging up that phone behind me. So I'm gonna pull up old QuantCalc, and oh boy, sometimes it. Yeah, there we go. Hold on just a sec. She's firing up right now. Cool. And we got a rock mass. That looks like it's a 2901. And that is going to be at 25.4%. 25.4. And I'll calculate that rock. And then I will go grab this one as well. And this looks like a 4402, so all I'm gonna do is just click, add another one, 4402. And the Quantanium, and this one is, I think that's a 28. It's a little bit, 28.6, no problem. Let's take a peek. 28.6, and I'll add that rock. And that's a total of 39 SCU between the two rocks. It's almost 40, 39.92. So depending on how it breaks, if I break both these down, there's probably a chance at a uni. A chance. Now, obviously it's going to depend on a few things. Let me go ahead and let me pull in this thing for a second. I want to just trim this back a touch, okay? And then this 2901, when I break this, it'll probably be some purples in here for sure. So Etheric says, Misk still reminds me of the Cylons in the new Battlestar Galactica. That's fair. I could see that. Archer, how are you, sir? I seen your invite, Archer. I just, I was kind of preoccupied with this, so I had to catch you around the way on that one. I found about 40 SCU. It's 39.92 SCU between these two rocks here. So we are going to break these down, and let's just see if we can get ourselves, close to a uni out of it. Depends on how it breaks. Yeah, and a decent find kind of quick. It's exactly right. Good point, SARS. Appreciate that. Certainly don't want to pass by a chance, even though it is a 2 break. One of them's a smaller one. It's a 2901. So one of these will break into purples more than likely. And, should make it kind of short work here. Alright, we just kind of rode up into the optimal, no problem there. Brought her back down to 30%. She just barely got into the overcharge, so no big deal there. Archer's letting me off the hook. I appreciate it. Archer's like that uni, the pick of that uni I showed you earlier today. Now, I figured these were going to tumble. And if you see, there's, it doesn't surprise me that some of these are purples either. That was a very small, it was a very small mass rock. And so a lot of times when you break these, they will break in the purple. That's a good sign. That actually has nothing in it. This guy's tumbling down the way. Interesting hitbox there. Nothing in that one either. That's kind of interesting. Wow, these 3 pieces that broke away are nothing. That's strange. And cool at the same time. Alright. And this is nothing. But it's on top. Well, we might have to, like what Forset calls, putting a little mustard into it. We might have to put a little mustard into this and see how we do. Now I'm going to kind of climb this up towards the top, and then right at the kind of the end, if you watch, this is a little bit of an advanced technique, and you kind of got to be, you know, it's not always a guarantee you're going to do it just right. Notice I'm keeping the overcharge right. All right, now it's getting close to the end. I'm going to put it in overcharge this a touch. Trying to get it into the overcharge this... Oh. Yeah, I was trying to get it to break away, right? That's a lot of garbage that was on top of that. So I was trying to get a little bit of a break. It didn't probably break as nice as I wanted it to, but that's okay. Not too bad. So I got a big chunk there, and I've got a big chunk there, and I got a big chunk there. So, yeah, that was not a bad... I mean, sometimes you have to put a little bit of heat into it to try and get it to break away. So here is... I bet you this is half of... The other two... One of them, at least one of them has to be pure for sure. So, if not both of the other two. So, we'll go ahead and deal with this. This is a 1.94 instability. This will swing a little while, but not too bad. A 1.94 and an 800 mass isn't like it's uncontrollable. So kind of, you know, we'll have to see if I'll need a branch or not. I don't really think I will, but we'll just kind of play it by ear, and I'll kind of keep feathering up and down here. Trying to keep it in there. You know, 1.94 and like a 300 or 400 mass is a little different. But 800 mass eating a 1.94 is, it's not undoable, just like we were able to do there. And here she comes. Some of it comes tumbling down, so. Craig's having some fun with it. Archer and Craig are chatting. ASMR. A lot of people accuse this channel of being like an ASMR in some capacity or another, which, you know, I can see that, you know. Depending on how, you know, on how quiet, you know, quiet things get. All right, so this is a 433 at 100. I'll probably pop a brand for this one for sure. It's a 2.5 instability on a fairly small mass, and I'll just get it up near the green. Then I pop that thing, and then we'll just go ahead and let the brand do the work here. It flattens it out to a 0.52 with a 0.23 instability. And so I started taking a really good look at the different mining modules, both passives, and the, you know, it's always funny. I always call the ones that have the charges in them mining consumables. The passives I've been calling mining modules, and of course the new ones that are coming I'm calling mining gadgets, or that. And I see that seems to be what most, you know, I kind of figured more or less how they were referred to. But there are some sites that, you know, call them, they're both, you know, they call mining, just call them mining modules, and they'll call them passive or active. So, interesting thing there. All right, well, Well, this one's going to be interesting. I'm going to scooch over this way a little. What is this guy here? Mostly Garbola. Yeah, interesting. I guess it'll be interesting to see when some of the stuff is off of here. Well, it's going to be definitely kind of interesting how this is going to go. So, hey, Forrest taking off. Oh, looks like Etheric Bard's going to take a little break, and Forrest says he's got to get some dinner and go get his new rig. All right, Forrest, that's awesome, man. Super happy about that. That's fire right there, sir. Craig says, just picked up the QuantCalc app, working good so far, minus the delete rock button. Oh, no, you know, the delete rock has been working, you know, I'll have to check that. I think, you know, Craig, delete rock it does have a deal where it will renumber the rocks, kind of interesting, and it is something that we've discussed. Yeah, keep me in the loop about that delete rock. You know, I'll definitely take your feedback on that. Somebody suggested we put a quant timer on that as well. And so I will chat with Tu, the guy who developed it, who did the majority of the work on the development, and see if we can get maybe a timer on it. So you can, as soon as you're getting ready to fly, you can click timer, and That was a suggestion. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that was a good suggestion that somebody made the other day with it. So, and QuantCalc's it's a nice little app for $1. I'll mess with that delete rock and see if I have any, see if it acts funny at all, Craig. It's an early release, and we're definitely going through QA with it now. All right, so this shouldn't be a terrible, break. I should not need a brand to break this guy. I'm going to let it kind of build halfway through the optimal, and then I'll start articulating down. It tries to crash out, back up we go again. But you can see, that time it definitely tried to jump up, but I feathered way back. This is kind of just what you have to deal with a little bit when they're... Oop. Notice I just killed the laser there at the end, and she broke just fine. We didn't lose anything there. And I figured some of this was going to slide. We've definitely got a heck of a hill here. Just 17% there. This won't be a bad instability. Yeah, the reset button definitely works real nice on it. That works out real well. And then the other thing, I don't know if you noticed, Craig, which is kind of cool, and I'll just mention it, is let's say you get 3 or 4 rocks in there. You can actually hit that ID, and it will generate a number. And if somebody else was in QuantCalc and you gave them that number, they could actually look at, like, all the different rocks that you were looking at. So it's a quick way for you to say, hey, punch in number, it's, whatever the amount of digits is, but, 327876421 or whatever. And then if they punch that in, they can see exactly what you're sitting on, the exact rocks. So a fast way to kind of communicate a cluster to somebody if they are also using the app. Kind of a handy feature. All right, this is going to have a little bit in there. Centaurus says, hi, how long is your run? And how much do you make per run? Thanks. Centaurus, it's a little, mining's a little like fishing. Earlier today, for instance, I had, and good question. Hey, welcome to the channel, by the way, too, I should say. Earlier today, for instance, I flew down to Lyria here. The first rock I looked at was a 5270 at 49%, and literally 18 minutes later, so, maybe a total of about 25 minutes, I had made $250,000 by the time I refine it and haul it. Easy $250,000 there, and, in really around a half hour. Now, that's kind of ideal, right? That's kind of one of the better runs you're going to have. Sometime between 20 and 30 minutes to make, $250,000 AUEC. A lot of times it's not quite that fast, right? A lot of times it's... you come looking, and you might have to fly around for a little while before you find something. So it's a little like fishing in that regard. Sometimes the fish are biting, and sometimes they're not. SARS 250, QuantCalc, it's nice because it'll quickly tell you how much SCU's in a rock. That's its main feature. Is just to quickly put in a mass and a percentage amount. And it will just tell you how much SCU's in that rock, so it's a really nice thing to have in that capacity. But, if you do if you happen to be on a cluster, you can just add next rock, add next rock, add next rock, and it will keep all those values for you right there. So it is really handy in that regard. Here's an 18%er. This didn't break very clean. Centaurus, there's good money to be made in prospecting in Star Citizen, absolutely. I probably... don't even work that hard and make a couple million a week. That's probably... You can easily hardly play and make $1 million a week at mining, for sure. But it is expensive to get started. Yep. I will say... you can always rent the ROC and rent a Cuddy Black and do some ROC mining. That's a way to kind of get started. And certainly bounty hunting ultimately is a good way to make money, and all the FPS missions as well. So. Thematic says, I don't understand how much of an impact you make. I make around 10 to 50 million a week. You've shown me your information really puts things into perspective for me. You know, Thematic is absolutely right. You know, and I think I definitely think Archer, who's on the channel, can speak to that as well. If you put your foot down, if you work hard at mining, you can easily make a couple million a day. Don't sleep on mining. I mean, you can have a slow day and make 1.5 million in a day, if not more. So you can put your foot down. If you really wanted to grind out 10 million in a week, you could do it easy with mining. Now that's, you're going to be busy. You're going to be doing a lot of mining. You're going to be doing a lot of hauling. But you absolutely can do that for sure. No questions asked. Craig Blair says FPS is difficult. You spamming the VRTs and so on before you make anything. Yeah, well, the VHRTs, yes, the VHRTs are very good places, and FPS can sometimes, it can really depend on, kind of what's happening, as far as whether or not the NPCs kill the other NPCs and whether or not you get all the spawns and that kind of stuff. For me, mining is consistent. That's one of the reasons I liked it. And back in the day, like 311 and one of the main reasons I liked mining is because at one point backpacks were the only persistent thing in Star Citizen. So if you happen to hand mine and throw stuff in your backpack, at least you had a little bit of that money saved, for sure. So that's nothing. This is nothing. I think I've got it pretty much broken down. That's a concern to me right there. See, that's one of those ones that I wonder if it... That's clearly a rock, but it's definitely to have no outline on it. So this will be interesting to see how we do. We're going to go to extraction mode, and let's see if we can... How much we'll pull out of here. We're going to have to be kind of discerning with the scoop in here, but I'll tell you... let's see how it just goes. We'll just kind of put our foot down and see how it happens. Alright, there's another hundo. Oh, that quartz just flew out in front of it and got me a 0.1. Oh, look at that. You see that? What? Don't try and blow my uni up. That's so funny. I got a 0.01 as it rolled by. Oh, that's so funny. I'm still calling it a uni if I'm clean except for that one. Archer won't let me get away with that. That's funny. This broke up so dirty. I wasn't expecting a uni anyways, you guys, so. It is true, though. One day you find more than that. That's a 50%er. Yikes. Let's just kind of keep scanning here. We got plenty of time. There's a hundo. It definitely is. Some days you do really well, and some days it can be slow. Some days you come out here and you're like, what on earth? I can't find a rock to save my life. Squirrel Lord, how are ya, Squirrel? What's happening? How you been? Alright, so we're kind of looking through here. We've got 8.27 on board so far. There was a total of 39.92 SCU in this. That's going to be a pretty quick one. In this whole cluster, but I did have one kind of dead break there. You can see it down there. And, it's something that I've been noticing more and more of. I'll show it to you one more time before we kind of monkey around here. That's a 17%er. There's a 50 and a 17 up in this. Craig, oh, an 11%er. This did break up yucky. Craig, you're braver than I am. I think I call it. I get anywhere north of a county Taurus, and I start getting scared for hauling. Yikes! That is a yucky pile of partial percentages there. That's all right. We'll we'll have to come back up there and make the do the best we can, I guess, with it. There's a hundo. This will get us over 10 at least. Alright, let's kind of... I don't think there was any... Yeah, I think a lot of this was junk. There's a couple pieces here. Sandy, how you doing? Rather be traveling. Nice to see you. Hello from India this month. I wish you could dump specific types of minerals. Oh, I'm sure he means dump specific types of minerals. That's a... Yeah, I hear you. A line item jettison would be really nice, rather be. I hear you. Alright. Sandy's like a night run. He doesn't... I'm in the shadows, Sandy. I think I'm just in between a couple of rocks. That's funny. Yeah, we're doing some Quantanium tonight. That's exactly right. Okay. Got a couple of edges to pick here. Hey, there's a hundo. Not the hugest hundo in the world, but we'll take it. And there's a hundo. Alright, 15 SCU in there. Let's just kind of see how we do picking the edges here on these last ones. Down here. That one not so good. What about this guy here? There's a hundo. This will get us up over 15 or so. Oh, looks like I'm... Picked up a touch of inert there. Alright, let's kind of wiggle around and see if we can find a little more of that guy. That is nothing there. I don't think this was anything here. No. There's a impacted piece in there, so we're fighting here for sure. I'm gonna have to come back up here to this kind of this yucky stuff. Let me look one more time here. We're still at 11 minutes. We still got plenty of time. Let me just see if I can... There's anything else to pick up here. 100% quartz. That's a 16%er. Yikes. And I know a lot of those broke with a lot of those broke with partials in it. And this is the rock right here. You can see quite clearly. This is a rock right here. But it broke with nothing, you know, like it's a dead break. So I think that's what I've kind of settled on calling those, are dead breaks when they... So there's a lot of partial percentages down in here, so let's just kind of pick those up and see if we can't get ourselves up over 20. Oh, there's a hundo I missed. Well, that'll help. Captain Confusion. There's a new name I haven't seen before. How you doing, Cap? Simple. Any pair larger group on Lyria is quant. Yes, you don't really have to scan. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can just kind of do flybys, and if it's more than 2, it is what it is. Hey, my agreeable, how you doing, sir? Awesome. Quartz. So we're fighting here. There's a 60%er. So we're going to start taking on board some of these partials now. There's really no way around it. This guy didn't break that terribly clean, so we're just going to kind of go with what we got from here on out. We're just about to hit 21 SCU, and so not great, but not terrible. We're not, you know. That's nothing. There's 23%. I'm just going to scan these other two before I... $19. And 11, huh? Yikes. Well, We'll grab this guy first. And then we'll grab this guy. And we're just breaking 22 SCU now. Not wonderful, considering there was 40 SCU in this guy. Ooh, there's an edge there. Let's see if I can pick that edge. Was anything in there? 20%er. We'll grab that guy. Better than that 11. And that's probably going to have us full, and that's a 22.73 SCU run. So, you know what? She broke a little yucky. You know, and that's okay though. You know, not a bad run. Nothing to sneeze at there. 22 SCU. And you know, when you put the lasers on it, it's never a guarantee that it's going to break clean. That's for sure. So we'll pull up out of that that little dip there and start heading back into Arc L1. We'll take it in and see if we can get that in a refiner and head back out again. So, getting back to the chat. Sorry, guys, I was a little bit preoccupied doing the mining. 3K mass, 39%. I hear that, Archer. Santa Claus says, the charts show that Hurston planets are all three better for finding quants, so why do we do Lyria? Because Lyria has that meta where it's anything more than 2 rocks is always Quantanium. Lyria really is the most consistent place to get... It still is the most consistent place to get Quantanium. You know, Calliope is good, but Calliope will push you around in the wind. It can be a little bit tedious to mine there. All the Microtech planets can get weathery, and the Prospector doesn't always do well there. Sar says I had 6 SCU short of a full quant load in an M2, and had an NPC interdiction on the way. Was White Knuckle Drive. Yeah. The other day I had a pretty good load in my M2, and I got pulled. Like, I had that weird bug where you get pulled out of the cockpit and you're in the middle of space, and I ended up closing the game, reopening the game, and I was able to, you know, re-pull my M2, and it still had the stuff in there. I got so lucky. Doe, yeah, hey Doe, how you doing? Then Sandy says the other planets don't have the cluster rule. The other planets do not have the cluster rule, Sandy. So anytime you find, no, Lyria's Squirrel. Lyria is by it's by ArcCorp. But yeah, no, that's the only place in Stanton, Sandy, that follows that meta. Zeller Brax, how you doing? Zal, what's happening? So yeah, we're gonna bring this one in here. Alrighty. Yeah, this was doing this to me earlier here. 3 times the spool here. It's going old school. You can do it. There we go. Alright, we're going to come in here kind of hot on a rail, see if we can't have a little fun with it. Get this guy put in the hopper and head back out. So that's first alarm. And you know, considering we were spending so much time trying to kind of pull in, find some more high percentages, I think part of the high percentages broke in that dead break. And then, you know, for whatever reason, we just didn't have the greatest luck in it. It was almost 40 SCU in that particular, you know, by the calculations or whatever. And it just, it wasn't that clean of a break. So that happens sometimes. And that you just got to take the good with the bad, you know, pick up what you can and haul it in. At the end of the day, you're still looking at 160 some thousand. You know, nothing to sneeze at. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and call for a pad here, and we're still just after first alarm.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Alright. There we go. I think the warning bells, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think they're at 8 minutes for the first one, yep. And then I think the second one is around maybe 6 or 5, maybe? And then the last one is like real, you know, you only have a couple minutes left. All right. And any of you who've done enough quant mining, you've had a boom or two, and you're it happens. So, hey, shameless plug. When I'm running into the, when I'm running to throw this guy in the refiner. If you like mining content, you know, throw a like in there. It actually helps more than you think. We've got an excellent mining community going. Like, we've got tons of folks who come in who like to talk and theorycraft mining and that type of stuff, and we can talk about anything. You guys know that. Well, you know, we entertain anything. Star Citizen, we'll theorycraft all day about whatever. But primarily, we do mining on our channel, and it's been just great. I mean, you know, there's been a ton of people contributing, all sorts of people contributing. That has been fantastic, and I really do appreciate, you know, when you guys do come and contribute, because it makes, you know, so many times, you know, like I may be distracted doing some mining, somebody answers a question or two, you know, but the most important thing is all of us collectively, our perspectives collectively, are far more, you know, educational than just mine, you know, certainly. And so that's you know, when I mention community, that's what it's all about. It's cool. All right, so we got that prospector put in the, you know, stored successfully, and we'll head down and throw this guy in the hopper. And we will, I'm thinking about maybe heading out to the Aaron Halo for the second run. You know, the Aaron Halo can be what the Aaron Halo is, right? It can be a little hit or miss. So, but I think we'll probably at least maybe head out to the Aaron Halo and see if we can't get lucky. I do think it's always good for people to see both the surface mining and the space mining sometimes. If they just were to only come and look at one of the, you know, watch one of the streams. Cyber Spooky, how you doing? It's good to see you. How you been? All right, so we'll get this guy in the hopper here. All right. And I was mentioning earlier today, I wasn't out there 15 minutes and found a uni. It was tough. Loved it.
Hi, good to have you back.
Sars is saying, I like that you're using the air alarmer too. It's a real nice convenience to get the yellow on the HUD instead of blue, especially in the belt. I agree with that 100%. One of the reasons, I mean, first of all, I like the armor a lot, but the fact that it does provide the yellow, the real bright yellow icons, it's a no-brainer for sure. I'm gonna just go DNX on that one. Yeah, there was my uni earlier today. Andreas, I never have luck in a Halo. Rocks are either way too big or don't have anything in them, even after hours and hours of searching. Andreas, it's interesting. Probably the ones that are way too... The largest rock you're ever going to be able to find to mine in space is 5122. For whatever reason, that's just kind of their meta right now. So definitely, if you shouldn't be... There shouldn't be a whole lot that are coming up as mineable that are above that mass. At least I've never had that, had that happen before. But I will say that you're absolutely right about the fact that it can be few and far between out there. But that's okay. I think it's okay to... Hey, Zeller's got some rocks to crack. See, Zeller. Captain Confusion Sandy Logic Pro X Wired is my go-to. You know what? I have that Logic Pro X Wired for my work set, and I like those, Captain Confusion. But yeah, getting back to what you're saying, Andreas, I agree. You know, we're going to go give the Aaron Halo, we're going to take a crack at the Aaron Halo, and whenever I say that, that means we could be flying around for 10, 15 minutes, or we could be flying around for a little while. So, you know, I hope that you guys have something you want to talk about. You know, obviously Lyria, when you're straight line prospecting in Lyria. Anything over 2 is always Quantanium. I think it's if you are doing something like a mining stream is not that high octane to begin with. So if you are going to be doing a mining stream, Lyria is going to be your safest bet to find Quantanium, and most people just want to watch Quantanium mining, and I understand why. I think it's the most profitable, and it really does open up the door for so much more other things in Star Citizen. So. Hey, Doe saying he did a bed log out and came back and he was on Quantanium. That's interesting. I've never tried that before. Yeah, one more time. We'll just pre-flight real quick. Just to be extra careful that loaded. It did. All right, we'll go ahead and pull that Prospector out. And we will hit the air and halo and... Hey, excuse me. Pardon me, citizen. Can't knock a guy for being a little more, having a little more fire under his belly than I do. Joey Goodwin, not a name I recognize. I came across an 8900 mass at 48-something% over the weekend. Joey, we love to call those are unicorns. We love those ones when they're the big 8,000 plus masses at 49%. Absolutely, that's a killer rock. It can be between a 70 and 80 SCU, depending on what the actual numbers are. I don't know that I've ever seen an 8900. 8900 at 48 something. Imagine that. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be pushing a 90 SCU rock. That's awesome. Earlier today, Joey, I did find a 52 something at 49.7, which was and that's about a little over 50 SCU in that one rock. Ended up being a unicorn for me, but when you find that great big one, the 8,000 plus at 48%, those are kind of mole fillers. They're good. That's a good rock. That's a lot of money in that one. It's awesome. Here, we'll jump up in the Prospector, and we are gonna make our way towards, I think it's HURL5. I think that's what it is. We'll look here in just a sec. Alrighty. There we go. Alright, so here we're gonna, HURL5 is where we're gonna set our, we're gonna go up after we turn on the engines and get going here. Pull the gear up. I'm just going to kind of swing to the port side. Right. So we're lining up here for HURL5. We're going to drop out at about 7.7 on HURL5. So off we go. So Sandy Claus says, thoughts on 3.17 and mining expendables. So Sandy, I bet you, if you're talking about the new mining gadgets, it's an excellent question. Here's my biggest wonder about those right now. It's whether or not the one that increases the power is going to increase the power more than, say, I think it's the Rhyme or whichever one does, even the XL one, it only does 8%. Now, and obviously when you have like a 5800 mass is kind of like your biggest thing that you're going to... I broke a 5924 one time with a Lancet, but really bigger than that, you're going to need anything over 5800 really. You're going to want to have a surge, and so I'm curious if for some reason the mining gadget will allow you to put enough power in there to get up to, say, like a 6400 or something like that. That's the most interesting thing to me, is the one that will increase the power, or whether or not you'll be able to then, or maybe just use something like go back to the Helix and then use a Brant, but then use whatever one that causes the instability to drop. So, a couple of different thoughts there, being able to mine a bigger rock, with the Prospector is kind of a curiosity of mine. Ideally you'd still be able to use the Lancet, right? I jumped out of it a little later than I wanted to, but you know what? We're in the Halo. We'll deal with that. And I am okay with it. Sometimes that, you know, sometimes it could, like Bob Ross, it could be a happy accident, you know. So let's go. Let's just look around and see what we find. All right, let's just kind of. So I like to pivot around, set Arc L1 back, you know, and just kind of use that as something that I kind of fly towards as I, you know, as I kind of cruise through here and start looking at rocks. Hey, right off the bat, we found a cluster. Well, that's, you know, that's fun. This is probably going to be a signature scan. Yep. And we've got, right off the bat, a 5122. This is tungsten. That's a hephaestonite, so that's not a quantanium. One thing about the meta, Sandy, you were talking about the meta. One thing I will talk about is when you are in the halo, right, and you do find a cluster. If you find a cluster in the first rock's quantanium, they're all quantanium. So that is one thing to note. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions I have. Oh, look at that. There's a 3-pack. I've never seen a 3-pack in this part of the air in Halo ever be quantanium. So that's just kind of one of the. That's a signature scan to begin with. I'm sorry, you guys will hear my dog barking in the background a little bit. Okay, and my children are home, and so she's a good guard dog. That's funny. All right, so we'll just kind of that 3-pack was definitely not quantanium. We'll keep moving along. So normally you won't find anything bigger than 5122 out here in the Halo. Another cluster. Wow, Clusterville, eh? This is going to be another signature scan. Yep, 35, and then we're going to kind of. Getting a slower scan now. 4631. This is a Bexelite field. You know, some diamonds, some corundum, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, you know, hey, I mean, certainly are finding some clusters out this way for sure. So far so good on the cluster side of things. I don't want to. Just kind of keep cruising along here. So yeah, it will be interesting to see. It definitely will be interesting to see with the mining, you know, with the new mining things, like, you know, and if you think about it, of course you have your mining laser, then you have your consumable, and then you have your gadget. What 3 ways are you going to be able to mix those up, you know? So Joey Goodwin's asking a question about is QuantCalc an app or a web page? It's an app, Joey. It's the link is in the description. You actually can go to the Google Play Store. It's an early release, and it's an app. It runs on, you know, Android devices now. It will be coming out for iOS at some point in the near future. We don't have it for iOS yet, but no, it's an app, and it works really good. Andreas, you know, yeah, definitely. People have mentioned using the C3s. I haven't done that, the Vaux C3s, but I am going to start mixing it up, and I am going to start doing some testing, you know, between the different types of, you know, heads and the different types of consumables a little bit, and just kind of preparing myself for the gadgets. And when the gadgets come out, as you can imagine, you know, going to be definitely doing a deep dive into all the gadgets. You know, and then, you know, how they may mix up with the different mining laser heads and the different consumables, and what are some of the options, and, you know, and then obviously anything that opens up the optimum window a little bit or increases the charge rate in the optimum window, that is something that could definitely work its way towards the surge technique for sure. You know, the double surge technique is something where, you know, you can use to break the bigger rocks. So It's going to be interesting. I guess those gadgets are only going to be for the first break, though. They're not going to be, you know, once you do the first break, you don't go out and attach them to the purples or anything. From what I read. So, all right. So we're going to cruise along here through the air and halo and see if we can find something to put our lasers on. But, you know, we always know when we come out to the air and halo that, you know, we could be in for a... Could be in for looking around at a lot of rocks. It looked like it scanned it first.
Mom's cord.
There's my grandson. He is coming in to help us look for rocks.
Okay, come on. Papa's playing.
All right. Yeah, Joey says that he has on his mole two Vox C3s and a Brant with a Lancet mining head. Works good on the Prospector also. I have heard a lot. There's a lot of folks who come to the channel who mentioned a very similar meta to that one, Joey, for sure. Alrighty, we'll get settled down here and see if we can't find something to mine. These guys don't look like they're going to scan it. Sometimes, and that happens. You know, there's always a little give and take, you know, when it comes to looking around. I mean, you know, here's some pluses, like when you mine in the air and halo, right? You're not going to have any rocks no rocks going to be impacted into the ground, so you're not going to lose some of the stuff when it breaks up. It's not going to fall below the geography. But you know, you don't have the same meta. There's another 2-pack there. Let's kind of fly closer to them. You're not going to have the same meta, right? As you know, as Lyria, where it's always here's another cluster. Nice. Where it's every single time you find a cluster like this is going to be Quantanium on Lyria. It's not like that necessarily out here in the Halo. So, you know, like I said, everything's kind of got its pluses and minuses, that's for sure. This is a Borace corundum type of thing. Yep. All right, we'll keep on looking. And so we found the real easy, you know, 20 Quantanium on Lyria, and thought we'd head out here and see if we could find something. Yeah, I really do like to, like I said, mix it up a little bit. I think it's good for folks. Hey, there's another good point. Sandy's saying you're not going to crash into the ground either. Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously you can crash into the rock, and of course anonymity. Like if your server is, you know, got pirate activity, that type of thing, you know, certainly the Halo is gonna provide a lot of anonymity, and you know, easy in and easy out. It'd be very difficult to find you. Looks like this may be a SIG scan. Yep, 10,000. Let's get a little closer here and let's see how we do. These two look like they want to scan. Oh, there they go. So here's our first Quantanium rocks. It's a set of twins. The first one was a 3%er. So let's go in and we'll scan the second one and see how we do. Obviously, it's second one is a 4621 at 24%. So that's a, you know, it's right on the edge, right? A 46 at 20. That's really only 20 SCU. Let me do the math on that one. We might fly past that one and regret that we did, but let me just do the math on that one anyways. It's a 4631 at, it's basically 24% calculate rock. That's probably going to be just over 20, I bet. 22.2. You know, I normally would absolutely mine that rock. I am a little curious about this one that's way out here at 19.2. I don't understand what's happening there. It's kind of weird. You don't see that very often. I definitely normally would mine that rock. I don't think I'm going to this time, though. I think we might regret it, though. We might regret flying past 22 SEU of Quantanium. So let's just go ahead and see how it goes. You know what, SARS? You're absolutely right. I probably should, and I probably will regret not taking that. You know, it's one of those things. I don't like to anger the mining gods too much. I mean, if they offer up 20 SEU Quantanium, I generally, almost 99 out of 100 times, take it. You know what I mean? I just ended up being a little further out here in the Aaron Halo than I expected to be, and have seen a few clusters, and thought I might just fly on a touch and see. You know, see if we do find something a little more, and that's probably a bridge too far, but we'll see. You know, if in a half hour from now I'm you know, haven't found anything, then you know what, that's on me. For sure. That doesn't look like that guy's gonna scan. We'll keep on moving. All right. Couple of singles there, eh? All right. That's gonna. Well, that might be a slow scan. Yep. A 4931 single. That is a 6%er of Quantanium. What about this guy? 5122, and that is some aluminum. All right, we'll keep on moving. A lot of rocks around here, that's for sure. Alrighty. Next on the agenda, right here. We will see what we got. Looks like a single. Jericho Wren will claim retrieve a ship from A to B, dispose of all cargo contents. Absolutely, Jericho. Good question. If you do claim a ship, if you've got something on board that's in the cargo area, you'll lose it. Also, you'll lose mining consumables as well. So here is a 4900 at 13%. We're going to fly on from this. This isn't good enough. 13%er, is the one that we've seen before had a little more than this one in it, and like I said, that's but yeah, if you fly it from A to B, now you won't lose your, like if you have a quantum drive or you have lasers or those types of things, Jericho, you won't lose any of that stuff. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Not a name I recognize. But yeah, so things like your mining lasers, your quantum drives, your upgraded shields, all that stuff, you'll keep all that. But any of your mining consumables and anything you have in your cargo, you'll definitely lose. Now, if the game happens to crash on you and you come back, then you just wait till it says retrieve, and you'll get covered by the crash recovery. Retrieve is different, though. Absolutely. Retrieve is a whole different situation. Retrieve is okay. Claim is bad if you want to recover your stuff. All right, so that's a 14% Bexelite there. I think this is probably all part of this Bexelite field here. Yeah, Bexelite there, and this 3-pack probably won't have any in it. We will put a scan on it, but I don't expect the 3-pack to have any. That's the one thing about the I've never seen a 3-pack ever a 3-pack have Quantanium in this part of where I'm at in the Aaron Halo between Arc L1 and HUR L5. I've never seen 3 rocks have Quantanium in it. And it was funny, an orgmate turned me onto that, you know, that thought. And ever since then, I always do scan them because I'm curious, but I've never, ever seen them. I probably should stop and just fly past them. Alright, there's a single there. Kind of scan this single here. That's going to be a signature scan. We'll get a little closer. That one doesn't look like it wants to scan. We'll come in on this one. This one's also acting like it doesn't want to scan. Alright, we'll keep on moving here. Couple more opportunities up this way. Another single. No, I could tell that one wanted to scan. I seen its outline. 5122. That's some gold, diamond, and corundum. We will look around over here. We're getting a slow scan on this guy right away. That's good. It's another 5122. That's a Festonite. All right, we'll keep on moving. Kind of why we always trying to keep that arc in our nose so we don't tread over the wrong ground here. I always hate to backtrack too much when we're out here in the Aaron Halo or really anywhere. I mean, you know, and you'd be surprised how many times you can circle back and actually wind up on the same cluster if you're not careful, if you don't kind of keep some kind of a position. All right, here's a couple more. Yeah, there's another one of those weird, like, that's an unusual thing when you see those scans that way out at those distances. It's not something I've ever seen before. We'll fly over to that one. I'm just kind of curious now. We'll fly over that way. And doesn't look like these guys are going to want to scan for whatever reason. Yeah, they're definitely not scanning. But it's an unusual meta to see something like at this distance, like 13 point whatever away. And there was another one earlier, but that I didn't fly towards. But this is kind of on our way anyway, so I thought, well, what the heck, And hey, there's a cluster. That didn't scan. Cyber Spooky. I started with the max. With the lure of a bigger payday sucked me into an M2. I can appreciate that for sure. That's awesome. M2's a great ship, by the way. I like that ship a lot. Alright, we've gotten a whole bunch in here in a row that we couldn't scan. So this is interesting. The yellow waycons do make it much easier, Sandy. I agree with that. Alright, what's going on here?
Mining mode on. Mining mode off.
Yeah. Well, this is that rock that was a super big distance away. It's not scannable. No big deal. We'll keep on moving. Yeah, the aerial armor for sure. All right. Well, we passed 22 SCU, and we'd have probably had that broken by now and be headed back to the ranch. So we don't want to. We definitely don't want to. Oh, no, that's 20. Yep, that was a signature scan there. All right. Okay, we're getting a scan here. And this is going to be tungsten and laranite, so definitely not a quantanium there. We'll fly past those. Sar says he's partial to the blue set. Yeah, the blue set's cool. I like the blue set. I don't wonder if it's the same. There was a blue set for sale at IAE that I bought 5 of them. I wonder if that's the same blue set. If it is, then I could probably get away with starting to wear those ones. Like I bought a cool looking blue at IAE, and I ended up losing one of the 5 sets, so I'm scared to wear them because I like them so much. I also have the Quicksilver set that I don't want to wear because I'm scared to lose it. So, you know, it's one of those things. You buy that armor, then you don't even want to wear it because you're scared to use it. Kind of a funny thing. Alright, so we'll keep cruising around here and seeing if we can find something to mine. Here in the air in Halo, we did really well right off the bat in Lyria and found something to mine, but this is a single here. We'll put a scan on it. Gold, Conundrum, and Borace. Actually an 11% or a Borace. Once you do have that mold, though, you do need something bigger to haul with. That's for sure. At the very least is a 1-to-1 with the Freelancer Max. You know, obviously the Taurus is what I use a lot, but I do have the M2 now as well, and you got to have something to haul those big mole loads if you get rolling with that thing. 4931. This is tungsten. All right, Hephaestonite. We'll keep on moving. Pivot on it and see if we get lucky. Keep on moving here. That's the thing with the Halo. You just got to keep after it and let you know. We did find that 22 SCU, and you know, and you very well could regret flying away from something like that. But I ended up in a little bit different part of the Halo, and I thought we would just look around a little more. Look at that. Show and scan. No big deal. We'll just keep on heading back this direction and see if we can't find something.
Hydrogen fuel at 75%.
First hydrogen check at 75. We're gonna spool up and just jump maybe 100 or so and fall back out. Maybe even just 25 or something too. Ooh. Now let me see how far we are from HURL5. It's a curiosity of mine. From here. 7.3. So we got a little ways to go. I'm going to go a couple of hundred, I think. And see if we can find something.
Quantum travel complete.
All right, that looks all right. You know, if you're flying out of the, if you are going to fly the air in Halo, I agree with what Craig's saying. Craig's saying, really, you can't beat the air in Halo, or pardon me, CRUL1 area. You know, when you're going to fly into Halo, and part of that is because it does have the 3% bonus. I normally fly off ArcL1 because I hit Lyria so often. I don't go to the air in Halo that much from this, but if you are going to consistently go to the air in Halo, I could not agree more with that assessment. And that's, you know, that certainly is, that 3% adds up over time, the 3% offset that you get, the bonus that you get for the CRUL1 area for mining. I 1,000% agree with what Craig is saying there for sure. All right, we'll just keep on and moving here and see what we can find. Couple of doublers there. Let's see. Put a scan on them. Mach 1 Greeble says, you have to be careful about overshooting and getting stuck out there. So that's true. You definitely want to make sure that you got enough quantum fuel on board for that. Second rock here, 4931. And this is going to be a Quantanium at 48%. So the mining gods were nice to us. We definitely did something that we don't normally do, which is fly away from 20 SCU. But in this particular case, it did pay off. So we've got a really nice rock. It's almost a 5,000 mass. Half of it is Quantanium, and we're just going to kind of ease our way in here, and kind of keep the the sun at our back. And we are just going to come on in here and have a go at it. So this is a nice rock. This is, you know, before we get started, I'll pull up QuantCalc. I'll tell you exactly how much is in this one. It's going to be a lot. I mean, as far as single rocks go, it's not going to be bad. It's a 4931, and it is at 48.16. I'm just going to do it at 48. I'll calculate that guy, and that is going to be 47 SCU in this rock. So, very nice rock. Hey, thank you very much, Morbit. You fly safe yourself, sir. Take care out there. Thank you for watching. You know, I'm always thinking about you, and be safe, brother. Yeah, so there we go. I mean, you know, we don't always get lucky, but this time we did. And so if we break this one up just right, there should be an easy uni here. And this is kind of one of those things. You don't always get lucky. You don't always get a uni. So we'll just kind of see how this guy breaks up. We'll cross our fingers, hope it breaks clean. And we know that we've got some good brands on board, and we should be just fine to break this guy up. And so, you know, like I said, a lot of times you pass up 22 SCU or something, you're not always going to get rewarded for it. So, Mach Greeble says, that's a one, a spa, it's a meatball. Yeah, it is. I'm not sure that he used the terrible accent that I used, but that this is a spicy meatball. I agree with that. Very nice rock. So we're at about 16 or so. It'll take a moment. We're building up. We're about at 75 or 60. It's kind of up and down a little bit, but this won't be a tough break here at all. So. Archer, that's up to you. If you want to come in and pick up the scraps, you can send me a friend invite, and flying over here, and you're welcome to them, the tailings, for sure. I know Archer and I sometimes will, when we find rocks like this, or big ones in particular, we'll help each other break them. And if you send me a friend invite, Archer, you can come grab the tailings on this guy for sure. All right, she's just about to jump into the optimal. Beautiful. Up and down a little bit. It's a 2.2 instability, so that's a serious instability. We could certainly brant it and flatten it out, and we may just want to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and we'll let it get back into the bottom of the green. And just for efficiency's sake, I'll go ahead and brant it. You can see that flattens it out to a 0.55 instability. Very easy to manage at that point. And she tried to jump a little bit, but I flattened it out real quick. I feathered back, and now we're gonna try and keep it around the 50% mark in the optimal. You know, if it's below 50, I'll turn it up, and if it's north of 50, I'll start feathering down. And just keep it in there, nice clean break. And here's what we were talking about. You know, one of the nice things with the Aaron Halo is that, you know, none of this rock is in pound, you know, in the ground. But you can see, look at that. One of those rocks became a dead break. So we'll have to see if, you know, maybe it's good that Archer's coming this way, because one of those is a dead break for sure. That one has nothing in it. This is a 923 at 49%. Yeah, one of those is going to be... I don't know that I'm going to have a full... We'll have to see here what the mass is on this one. Oh, this is a big... 1,048's nothing. That must be a big rock back there. So there's a 1209. That's 24 SCU. That's 100. We'll break that up first. For sure. But see how we're starting to get these dead, what I call dead breaks. And I got a dead break on this one for sure. Looks like Archer's inbound. He'll be able to see it and break it without any problem. And then when it's broken into purples, it will, you know, you'll be able to see it just fine. So I'm a little bit far out of the effective range, but that's no problem in this particular case. I'm just going to kind of micromanage. Once again, this is 24 SCU, or 24 SCU of pure Quantanium here. And we'll go ahead and get this busted up. Sandy says that he has to feather in the window quite a bit when he's got the Vaux. Doesn't that, the Vaux, does it kind of close the optimal windows a little bit, Sandy? So that's a, that's a solid break there. So we'll hit these again. One of these was a half. Wasn't this guy? Sarah says, I find a lot of rocks where I can get 32 to 40, but then sometimes you find clusters where it's possible to take 60 or more. Yeah, we found a cluster one time, SARS, that had 220 SCU in one cluster. It was a crazy cluster. We ended up bringing 3 moles in to deal with it just because they would have the wiggle room. So half this rock, let's say, 450 is 8 SCU here. So we're definitely going to need to break up that one. Archer says he doesn't have my marker. Hold on, Archer. I'll let me break this rock and then I'll send you. We'll break group and I'll send you an invite. Give me a sec. I had your marker there. But no big deal. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll do this. Oh, maybe I didn't accept your invite. See my marker now, Archer? Maybe not. So it says center glass window holds up better if you repair every time at your station, but it does ice up and get scratched if you don't repair as much. I agree with that. You got to keep that guy repaired. All right, Archer, I will just go ahead and I'll break the group and re-invite you. Or if you disband the group, I can invite you. Craig Blair says, can you send money to people while they're offline? Yes, you can. That is for sure. Yeah, so here's what we're talking about, right? This rock right here is a big rock. It has no outline. And I'm sure that's like 100%er. You know, so it broke. Alright, so Archer, I'll send you an invite right now. Alright, I sent the invite. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, I honestly, even though this had all that SCU in there, I couldn't get a full... I would be close. I would have like 28. But I mean, this is a big... This is probably, you know, another 1,000-pound rock or whatever. Still no marker. I don't know, Archer. I don't know what to say. I mean, we broke the group a couple times, and... I see your marker just fine. That is weird. Oh, got it on my way. All right, that makes more sense. Yeah, so when you get in here, I'll show you this, you know, I'll paint this rock, and you can... I'm sure I'll just put a 0% on it, and you can break it, and then I'll scoop, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, this is just one of those things, like, you know, and I definitely, there's, you know, definitely plenty of Quantanium here, right? This was a, you know, a 47 SCU rock. But I broke, when I broke this guy, this one broke as a dead break. Like it broke and it won't scan. It's got no outline. Archer's on his way, he said, anyways. Oh, he will. I bet you he will be able to see it. That's what's going to happen. And this started happening about 2 weeks ago. It's the first time I've ever seen this bug. But, you know, normally what will happen is he'll fly in here and he'll be able to see it. Archer, making your way? Makes me wonder if maybe I'm just not getting an update or whatever. Alright, so we're just kind of waiting on Archer to come help break this last rock up. You can pull in a uni that way. That is for sure. And, let's see if he's going to make it over this way. Oh, he says he's 900k out. Oh, that's interesting. Well, you know, that is fun. I was kind of... I must not be an update there for some reason, so... Which is no big deal. Plenty of stuff to mine. Once we get this guy broke, I'll grab that and we'll have a uni for sure. Hey, Chris Bates, how you doing, Chris? He says he caught the stream this time. We're working on the uni, Chris. Archer's going to come in and help me. Here he comes right there. He's about 9,000 out. So come on in here, Archer, and I will, you know, I'll show you where, I'll paint this rock, and I'll show you which one, you know. I'll put a 0% on it. It's funny. It almost makes me wonder if it's not scoopable.
Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
He's flying in here. And so sometimes, you know, you just have to call in a friend when you have a break like this. You know, and I appreciate Archer doing this for me and showing up and kind of helping out, and it's good. He's not too far out now, just 4,000 or 5,000. Alrighty. Absolutely. Come on in here, Archer. I'll show you this rock right here. It's this guy right here that's being silly. Here he comes in his Prospector. 500 meters out. Moving right along. Couple hundred meters. It's funny how even at 100 meters, you know. So yeah, it's this guy right here, Archer. I'll show you. I'll point down to it. It's this one right here. You wouldn't mind kind of breaking that one up, or tell me if you can see it at all. That's the one. Now watch, he'll break this thing up. And I'm just gonna, I'll throw my laser on it because I know it does help him. It will help buff it. I'll just stay at 0% and let him break it. But when he breaks it, watch, it will go back to purple. And it's one of those, you know, it's like an interesting thing. For sure. Yeah, Archer, I figured it was 100%er for sure, just based on the fact that what was left. So yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, so we'll let Archer break this guy for us. Yeah, and this is, you know, this is one of the things when it comes to mining, and one of the reasons why I started this channel is so you could have, you know, mining buddies just like this come in and give you a hand when something's just wonky, right? There's 100% Quantanium right there. And so, and you know, there's enough here where when I pick up the 32, there's still going to be 15 or 17 left. So it's an easy scoop for Archer to grab himself 150k here too. So once he breaks this guy, we will, you know, I'll switch to the extraction mode. We'll scoop up, but I would not have been able to break this rock without him. I couldn't see it. You can still see it's not an outline for me. With 2 brands on it, though, it should be a fairly easy break for him. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And watch when he breaks it. It should or will return to purples, and it will be an easy scoop for me. Yep. Isn't that weird? I mean, it's just one of those things. We've seen it a lot. It's been more prevalent lately. Look at that. I mean, it's, you know, that's a broke real clean. You know, big chunks. Archer, I'll just scoop up what's here, and then you can grab the rest. And I really appreciate you coming out for sure and helping with that. Now, I know this was a 100%er back here. I remember this is the other 100%er I broke back here. Alright, we're just crossing 22 now. No, I really appreciate it, sir, for sure. 25. Scooch just a touch. Looking for a little bit more on the hundo side. That's a hundo there. Okay. Keep ourselves honest here. Now, the one thing you definitely don't want to do to a friend is, just so you guys know, is watch. I'll keep an eye on it here. I'll turn it off at 32 SCU. Like, if there's a chance, right there. Like, see, I turned it off. I could have continued to break that rock, but I'm not going to do it. So let me get a little perspective and see exactly where Archer is and see if, make sure, yep, he's right there. So now, you know, I'm just going to, you know, fly off to this side. Go ahead and pull in the laser. Go back to sticks, and off we go to Arc L1. So that's a uni, and I did leave Archer the most amount of Quantanium. You notice I didn't let the, because what will happen is I could destroy the rest of that rock, but I didn't do it. I turned it off right when it got to the unicorn amount. It left him a little bit more in that rock so he could prospect on it. So, yeah, so that's a really good run, you guys. I mean, that ended up being a, you know, we pulled 22 SCU off of Lyria. We decided to come out to the Aaron Halo. The Aaron Halo, of course, is the Aaron Halo. It's always a little slower. But that's okay. I do think that there's some benefit to mining in the Aaron Halo. First and foremost, anonymity, right? No one's going to find you in the Aaron Halo. You'd have a better chance of being bit by a polar bear, struck by lightning, and, you know, and maybe, you know, attacked by a wallaby the same day. I mean, you know, I mean, the chances of anybody finding you in the Aaron Halo is very slim, so you're very safe from pirating. And then when you do, you know, obviously there are going to be dead rocks out there, and in that case I had a dead break, so, but that can happen anywhere. It can happen on the moon surfaces or whatever. Working with your friend, you know, calling on a buddy when you hit a snag like that, or having someone on deck who's around is helpful. It's one of those things that, you know, I could just solo mine all day long and love this game. But, you know, I do have enjoyed building this, you know, game, a little bit of a community of like-minded folks who like to mine. You know, we can help each other out in a pinch, and it's a good thing. So, anyways, that is a full-blown unicorn. That is a 32 SCU Quantanium run out of the Aaron Halo. And I got by with a little help from a friend. In the immortal words of the Beatles. So, we'll bring this guy in. We haven't even heard first alarm yet, and probably won't. We may, but it'll probably, when we're getting real close to the pad, would be the first time we'd hear it. So, we're about to come out of first quantum now. A little bit more time, and we'll be out of there. Yep, and you immediately just kind of spool up the drive and get ready for second quantum. Kind of put the gas down or whatever. Good. Did get a, you know, a real nice easy. We'll, you know, cook in on the second quantum. We'll crank it up to about 400 and bring her in. Ma Greeble says, judging distance and size of things from the cockpits always seems way out of kilter. You know, I can understand that. One of the things, ever since I was able to kind of go 4K and then go back to 1440p, my resolution feels better in the Prospector. There have been times when, like, I feel like I'm like the UI is like your face is squashed against the UI and it's fuzzy. And so, you know, toggling the field of view and the resolution can sometimes get you out of that. Sandy Claus is asking for someone's name in game. If it's mine, it's V underscore V. All right. Oh, it looks like he's asking for Greebles. It's all good. It's like when you know, someone pretty's waving at you, and then you wave back, and then it's the dude behind you. Just kidding. Oh, that's funny. All right. Drop the gear. And Sandy, let us, or Archer, let us know how much you ended up with on that in the tailings of that thing. I think there should have been maybe 16 to 18 SCU there. All right. I am V_V_V. That's now. So I have my my Discord handle in the description as well. Mark Gribble says the weights and measures in this game have been questionable since day one. I agree with that a little bit. That's for sure. Everything's questionable. You know. All right, so in we go. Favorite part of the. Oh, Sandy, there you go. Hey, thanks for the friend invite. Appreciate it. Close to 16. So, you know, not to go out and kind of break one rock and fly away in 10 minutes with, I mean, you got to figure 16 SCU. That's obviously 10 SCU is 88,000. So, you know, you got 88 and 44. It's over 120. Yeah, exactly. Like 130K just for kind of showing up and helping break a rock. That's exactly right. You know, and it's one of those cool things, like, and I know in our Discord a lot of times, it doesn't happen a lot. I mean, all of us have lives and families and this type of thing. We work, everybody has jobs, you know, but there are times when it's like, hey man, I'm on an 8,000. I could use a handout here, you know, and somebody will come out and break it, and you give somebody a hand and away you go. You know, it's kind of nice in that regard. So we got that guy stored. And so I will head down, and we will put this Unicorn 32 SCU Prospector load into the hopper. So those of you who are veterans of the channel know, you know that elevator time is shameless plug time. So a couple of things. Thank you all for watching. First of all, this is, you know, we did Lyria today. We did 20 SCU, 22 SCU, did a full load of a full Unicorn 32 SCU load that we're bringing in from the Iron Halo right now. I will say, if you enjoy the content, please do like and subscribe. What we do here is mostly mine. Now, I'm not going to tell you every single time I stream it's going to be mine, but 97 but not 100 of them will probably be mining. We're looking forward to the mining gadgets that are coming up here pretty soon. We're going to do a deep dive on those. We're going to be doing some ROC mining in the future, even though you don't make a whole lot of money at it. We love the game loop. We're going to be doing some hand mining as well. Anything funny mining, you know, we're interested in. Tips or tricks, that type of thing. Absolutely. We do have an app. It's called QuantCalc. The link is in the description. It's on the Google Play Store. It's an early release. That is an easy way to get how much quantanium is in a rock. So a nice little tool to have. A lot of guys on the channel do like that tool, and I do recommend it. It's only $1. It's not like it's $1 million, and so it also Spectre Fleet is an excellent organization here in here in Star Citizen, and good people, and you don't just have to mine. If you like FPS stuff, if you like combat pilot stuff, if you like logistics, if you like medical, absolutely all that stuff is available, you know, there. So anyways, I just wanted to thank you all for joining us on the stream tonight. A lot of you are familiar faces. I love hanging with you guys, and I love talking all things related to Star Citizen mining. With that being said, I have some homework to correct and some children to look after this evening. So, Mach1 Greeble saying, hey, is your Discord open to non-org members? Right now, we don't have a spot that's open to non-org members, Mach, but my Discord handle is in the description, and if you just want to chat with me, it's analytical number 8011, just friend me, and we can talk anytime you want, sir. I love talking Star Citizen stuff, and all day. If I could do it all day long, every day, I would absolutely do it. So, thank you all. Have a lovely night, everybody. Extra special thanks to Archer. Thank you very much, sir. And I will see you all around the verse.